Man, I've talked about Europe and the States a lot already. I think it's time to say something about the eastern side of the map, Asia, the home to world's oldest civilizations, traditions, and cute little cousin games which scam girls for money. I don't really mean it, I said it under pressure. I'm fully open to work with all of the games. Well man, what can I say? A great nation. Or as nations, cause there are a lot of different types of human beings. And today, with absolutely zero racism, I'm gonna rank them all, or at least some of them for sure. And starting off with the most populated country in the entire world, India. There are 1.4 billion people there. So dude, I just cannot give it a low rate, but regardless, digging more into India, I'll find out that it's not just a broke ass country who loves cows and not to eat them. Come on man, don't you ever think about it, it's absolutely inappropriate. And don't think about other animals as well, or at least not so much if you come to India, because about 40% of population out there are vegetarians. And yeah, maybe you don't see much of examples of it in media, or maybe you just don't watch Indian media. Maybe you also don't watch products of the biggest film producing industry on this damn it planet? You tell me you don't watch Bollywood? The place that produces twice as much movies as Hollywood does in a year and sells more tickets than any other film industry. Damn man, that's a shame. Nah, but really, India is quite interesting as a country. Come on, it's a completely different world in terms of traditions, activities, and basically food. And from a touristic perspective, I'd say it's a nice place to visit, just solely as an experience, regardless of which one you want, whether you come there for spiritual enlightenment or a luxury vacation or Indian traditions. Dude, you can get it all easily there, and damn, that's probably one of the few places in the world where pretty much everyone can get a luxury vacation. Cause if you're coming from even slightly developed country, India will seem as cheap as it can get. And from what I read, Indians themselves are pretty happy with their lives. Yeah, in bigger cities some signs of poverty for sure could appear, but I guess Indians are either used to it or just ignore it all. Well, regardless, I'll put it in B for Bangladesh, And the next country is obvious, man, China. And that's the second place by population. Indians overtook the Great Land, but surely not by social credits. And man, I said that India is a completely different world. Well, China is as well, just in its own way. And it's not only about putting the country first, then yourself, strict rules and limitations, basic communism, as it is in politics. Nah man, China to me always felt like something completely separated from the entire planet. And it's kind of funny, cause out of all the countries, China is probably the one that is the most integrated in our lives. I mean, their products, media, but despite spreading these products all around the globe, China still looks like a really close state, like it is its own world. Everything that goes on in China stays in China type thing, The Dragon country does business with everybody, but to become friends with someone, nah, dude, that's not what it's about. And you kinda see it all in Chinese people as well. They're direct and strict about the subject of conversation, but to go further into more friendly talks, that's a difficult task for them, man. And this cultural uniqueness is one of the reasons China is as developed as it is, I'd say. People are just way more focused on the task. And of course, the amount of people that are focused on the task is also a bonus, But damn, with all of the limitations, social credit system, I mean, it works. But it works in exchange of freedom, and I'm not really a fan of that, so B tier. Kinda, yeah. Also, I'm hesitating, maybe A because of development. But for now, I'll keep it in B. And of course, it's the time for today's most famous, or infamous, depends on your country, Israel. Damn, it's such a small country and at the same time so freaking powerful. Which proves my point that fighting for territory is a dumb-ass move if you don't reach your full potential of the land you already have. To me, Israel was always a place of the peak development of that region. while having literally half of its territory covered in desert. Through domestic irrigation systems, Israel managed to grow crops where any other country would be like, could leave it as it is. Israel is generally a country of innovations. Maybe it's because of constant pressure by neighbors who always looked at its territories, or because of kinda late start and having lots of examples on how to do and how not to. Israel always leaned on brain over muscles, but if necessary, we will use both. And it led to early investments in research, universities and government encouraged studies, which then led Israel to world-class innovations in pretty much every way imaginable, including military. Man, I think everybody nowadays is aware of Israel's army. And yeah, not gonna lie, there are surely downsides like compulsory military service, but the quality of that service created one of the most powerful armies of all. But to have all those things, Israel had to pretty much build itself out of thin air, and it also created an environment to which people from all around the world want to move. Till recently, it was a really safe place, and it still is a very developed country, where the doors are open for everyone. Yeah, maybe not legally, but culturally for sure. Although it's obviously mostly Jewish environment, there is no oppressions for other religions and people from other countries, or at least none of which I'm aware of. So man, I think Israel is as strong as